Hey, this is Mark, and I'm here at my studio, the Action Figuratorium, and on this episode of Toy Talk, I'm going to do another one of these what is or what are category type shows in which I ask the question, what are Stikfas? And the answer is it's this, so stick around. Okay, so Stikfas is a form factor, first of all, kind of like Lego, Playmobil, Mini-Mates, that kind of thing, where it's one sort of generic body and then you customize it with stickers or paint decos or accessories to sort of make the character. And these guys came out around 2000, 2001. They didn't really go too far, they kind of clunked around, and then Hasbro sort of picked them up. I don't know if Hasbro ended up buying Stikfas or just sort of licensing them, etc. But they sort of took over manufacturing and I assume have taken over marketing. I don't see these guys heavily marketed too much. I'm going to go into that at the end. But essentially what it is a figure. And there's a couple different archetypes. This is a male, there's a female one, there's a couple of other different types of male-female type bodies available, plus they have like some monster ones or, you know, stuff like that. Of course, plenty of accessories for these guys. You can get different kits, but they are a figure like this that comes in a box. Here's one. This is actually where this guy came from. And box looks like this, and it's full of, you know, a bunch of these kind of model kit type trees, right, where you have to click it apart and then you assemble it. So if you're getting these for your kids to play with, this is a type of kind of like a Lego, a sort of interactive build at first before you play, you know, kind of a puzzle, which is sort of nice. I have to say from building this guy that it actually, I don't want to say it was physically challenging because that makes it sound like I am just an incredible weakling, but clicking some of these parts together was not something that necessarily a kid could have done without frustration. Put it that way. That's the caveat, the with frustration part. Some of these were, I didn't think were going to even click together. I was like, this clearly doesn't work, but it did. So keep that in mind. These are definitely build-up, but maybe not small kids, maybe little kind of, you know, buildy type kids. And then of course whatever character you got, you can customize them after the fact. So the one that we're working on here is this samurai guy, and here's like his cool armor, etc. So these guys resemble to me this basic type, which does not look cartoony, looks more like a video game. Very much like those wooden figures that they use in art classes for teaching when, you know, they have everybody paint sort of the model, that kind of thing. You put these wooden guys out there and you sort of sketch them, paint them, that sort of thing, and you can do it like that. And so these are touted as something that's kind of cool for stop motion. I don't know about that, but I have to say that that the posability and the stretching them out and putting them in all sorts of cool shapes and stuff like that, these guys totally deliver. They look great despite the fact that they're video game cartoony and not realistic lifelike. Gives them a really high fun factor, and this is perhaps why I come back around to the Stikfas, is because of the fun factor, and also because they are just such a weird anomaly. This is a brand that just is not particularly heavily promoted from what I can tell. It's not promoted in toy circles or kids crafts, buildable circles, that kind of thing. It's not like one of those. I'm not really sure where the market is, where these come new. I don't know where these are stock new. I've only seen them used. Every Stikfa I've gotten has gotten from a thrift store, sort of tossed away. So this comes to what I wanted to close on, is that these guys are distributed by Hasbro, and they just kind of have them coming out in kits of sort of generic characters. There's like an army man guy, and there's like a fireman guy, and this guy's a samurai, and you know, maybe another guy would be like a deep sea diver, that kind of thing, sort of like what G.I. Joe did in the 60s, 70s, where there's just a generic body and you got different outfits, and that was sort of their occupation. They're doing that, but they don't do anything involving major franchise licenses. So they don't have like Captain America Stikfas and Iron Man Stikfas. They don't do anything like that. There's no Stormtrooper Stikfas. And actually, if there was a little Stormtrooper kit or Darth Vader kit or little armor kits for these guys that turn them into characters, the Stikfas would actually be very cool. It's a very sort of cartoony, posable thing. I assume that this is probably too close to all the other things out there, the vintage, you know, retro line that's like the original Kenner size, that, or, you know, I think that there's either Imaginext Star Wars, or there's Galactic Heroes, which are like little 2-inch guys that are coming. I think they're probably too close to these other toys, which they're not going to jeopardize the line. But if you wanted to see these guys, the Stikfas, go up in popularity and see them start sprouting up everywhere, you would have to get them involved into some sort of major license. I mean, that's really kind of what did it for Minimates, and now all the crazy licenses that Minimates have, in my opinion, make them probably one cool, awesome action figure buck or universe or scale or size or whatever you want to call it, you know, versus the Lego, the Playmobil, the Black Series, Marvel Legends, that sort of thing. I think Minimates and all their crazy licenses, you know, like the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, I think they blow everyone away. They're way better than the Funko Pops, those bobblehead things. Totally stupid, totally a Kid Robot ripoff, which we didn't need, no one asked for. And if something like these guys jumped into that, I think these guys would go up to the top. So here's a tip you might want to start looking for and collecting Stikfas. They're in pretty small supply on eBay. I don't know where else you get them, and you don't get to pick and choose, and they kind of go for a lot. So if you do see these out in the wild, make sure you grab them. And until the next one, ciao.